Class 7, sorry about that. Thank you for being here tonight. I'm going to call our meeting to order at 7:07 and start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. And do we have any citizens' comments this evening? No? Okay, great. We will move straight into Spotlight on Brentwood.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks again for some time this evening to share some of the highlights since the last time we all met. Just a reminder that we split all of our highlights up into our strategic plan categories, so student success, school culture, diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility, and unified community engagement. So let's start with our first category, student success. And our biggest one since the last time we met was our Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education annual performance report. And Dr. Zagora later will go through a lot of data with this, but I'll just give you guys an overview of it. Brentwood earned the state's top accreditation status with a 3-year composite score of 95.8, qualifying the district as accredited with distinction. We were one of only 3 Missouri K-12 school districts to earn this accreditation status.
There are 540-something districts
I
in the
am
state.
so awesome.
So I just
So awesome.
I just want to make sure that we're clear on that.
And so one of 3 and the only one in St. Louis County to receive this distinction. For our 2024-25 single year APR score was 95.4, ranking in the top 10 statewide and 3rd in the St. Louis region. Results reflect strong performance in MSIP-6 indicators, including student growth, academic achievement, graduation rates, and college and career readiness. So like I said, Dr. Zagora will get into it a little bit more, but just another great example of both like short-term and then consistent high-level achievement and performance. And also it's not the end-all be-all. We look at every student individually, growth and achievement and readiness, but as far as the state is concerned, this is how they measure things, so we measure quite well when it comes to how the state does. All right, our second one, that is Brentwood High School senior Kelsey Hanser, and she was named an Outstanding Student Leader by the St. Louis County Department of Human Services. This award honors students for leadership, community service, citizenship, character, and extracurricular involvement. She was one senior is selected from each county high school. So each school nominates a person, they get selected, they bring them all together for a leadership conference hosted by the St. Louis County Department of Human Services and Washington University. So they bring all the students together. They do kind of an all-day workshop about leadership, community involvement, things like that, how to better their community. So just a great example of leadership and developing skills that will help students right now in their current situation, but then also in the future. So building good leaders and community involvement. And then our third example in student success, our Brentwood High School girls cross country team. And they placed 8th in the Class 2 state championships a couple weeks ago, competing against some of Missouri's strongest programs in Class 2. We had 2 all-state runners, senior Kensington Curd, she placed 3rd, and junior Charlie Butler placed 25th, both finishing in the top 30. If you finish in the top 30, you earn all-state honors. And that was out of nearly 200 athletes that ran the 5K course that day at Mizzou's Gans Cross Country Creek course, which is not an easy course, and it was still a little muddy from rain earlier that week, but our girls did a great job. Just specifically for Kenzie, who If you remember, 4 years ago, basically resurrected our cross-country program that had been dormant for 15 years. This was her 4th consecutive All-State honor. So she earned All-State honors her entire cross-country career, including a state championship as a sophomore. So just a great team performance and showcasing exceptional grit, teamwork, and consistency. And just looking at our cross-country program from just a handful of runners that first year to building it up here with having an entire team to be able to score, having or building a middle school program that has a lot of participation. Yeah,
24?
so there's a lot of kids in it. So
A lot of middle schoolers.
the future looks bright for cross-country in Brentwood. So,
Very much so.
but we can attribute that to a handful of people up there on that.
And the coaches too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
They did a
coaches are
phenomenal
phenomenal.
job. They really did.
All right, so moving on to school culture. And this was a cool one. Brentwood Middle School was named a 2025 Missouri Green School, one of 33 schools statewide honored for sustainability, wellness, and environmental education. Earning recognition at the Sprout level, there's different levels of green schools, so we're in the Sprout level here, highlighting engaged leadership, actively tracking of sustainability efforts, and measuring goals for greener practices. School initiatives include the recycling program, outdoor learning experiences, and student-led sustainability projects, which are supported by the middle school green team and led by Sarah Pfeiffer and Emily Williamson. So shout out to them for our Missouri Green School. And this program helps schools improve health and wellness, reduce environmental impact, and integrate sustainability into academics and daily operations. So a cool little feather in the cap for our middle school. All right, and if you didn't know, this week is American Education Week. So we celebrate American Education Week, recognizing the incredible Brentwood employees who make our schools safe, supportive, and inspiring places for students to learn and grow. Now, this is everybody. There's a Teacher Appreciation Week later in the spring, but American Education Week is everybody. So support staff, office staff, maintenance, facilities, custodians, Board of Education, our business and finance and payroll, and all of those folks. So it's everybody that makes an impact on our students. So from teachers and paraprofessionals to food service, custodians, nurses, office staff, administrators, everybody that plays a vital role in student success in our schools. So their work goes far beyond academics. They build relationships, nurture curiosity, and foster a love of learning that lasts a lifetime. So we're grateful for their passion, professionalism, and care that they bring to our students, families, and schools. So if you have a favorite up there, make sure that you reach out and give them a shout out and tell them how much you appreciate them this week. So a lot of great people up there on that board, so we're happy to have them all here. All right. And then into diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. Our Special Olympics volleyball tournament that recently took place. So Brentwood students participated in the Special Olympics volleyball tournament at Ladue Horton Watkins High School, joining over 200 athletes and 100 student volunteers. Our Eagles showcased outstanding sportsmanship, determination, and teamwork, cheering on peers and embracing the spirit of inclusion. This event was filled with encouragement, joy, and meaningful connections from the opening ceremonies to the final serves. And just to piggyback on recognizing all of our staff, and since we won't meet until after it, Wednesday, December 2nd is National Special Education Day. So we extend our gratitude to our partnership with the Special School District of St. Louis County, and to all our special education staff for providing vital support. And this is everything. So specialized instruction, speech and language services, occupational and physical therapy, academic interventions, behavioral and social emotional supports, and probably a bunch of other stuff. We don't have time to mention. So, just a a great event. They do a lot of different special education events. There's bowling, there's track and field, there's volleyball, but just a good example of one that happened recently, and just a great example of our partnership between Special School District and all of those folks that provide such great services for our students. All right, and into unified community engagement. Last week we celebrated Veterans Day across our district. So Brentwood students, staff, and families joined together to honor the courage, sacrifice, and service of the men and women who have worn our nation's uniform. We extend our gratitude to veterans within the Brentwood community and beyond for protecting our freedoms and modeling integrity, compassion, and selflessness. So elementary schools do a fantastic job. Lori Regent at McGrath and Lindsay Piazza and Emily, I can't think of her last name, Montruso, the other third grade teacher at McGrath, did a great job putting theirs together, and then Deb Stinson at Mark Twain. And they staggered them this year, so I was able to go to both of them. Just fantastic displays of community involvement and outreach and recognition and spirit of bringing everybody together. But then also at the high school and middle school, guest speakers that came through and different drives and things like that to show respect and recognition and honor for our servicemen. And then our last one this evening is the Mark Twain PTO Food Truck Festival. So this was one that happened just a couple weeks ago on Friday. The Mark Twain PTO hosted a highly successful food truck festival, bringing together families and community members from across Brentwood on a perfect fall evening. 6 food trucks and a kettle corn stand participated, with each truck donating 10% of their sales back to the school, and the kettle corn stand contributing 100% of its proceeds, totaling nearly $2,000 raised for Mark Twain students and staff. Usually when you have a food truck type thing, you have to pay a fee for the food truck to come and park and hang out. They waived those fees for us, which was great, and just added to our total. So they also partnered with the city of Brentwood, who donated the stage that the band played on that night. The band performed at no cost. The PTO also covered after-hours support from the Brentwood Police Department and Brentwood Parks and Rec to move that stage back and forth. So a strong turnout, positive feedback has inspired plans to bring the Food Truck Festival back next year. So be on the lookout next fall. We'll make sure we get the date and share it out to have another great community engagement event. So thanks to Mark Twain. And so just going around, like, lots of people, kids eating pizza, who has it, like, love. Adults don't like it when you take the picture of them eating, but kids love it. And then in the bottom left, Jennifer Gerling and Sarah Duncan, the Mark Twain PTO president and vice president, so kind of spearheading that thing. But a big team effort from everybody at Mark Twain and a very cool community.
A creative community.
Yeah.
Very creative and great turnout, and another great opportunity for the whole community to come together.
Yep.
I think it's more of a community event than it is a fundraiser.
Yeah.
I think that's
There
the
were
great part.
so many people that were there, and then my neighbors on my street were walking up who haven't had kids in the district for a generation. We're like, hey, we heard the music, we're going to go up and check it out, and it was a really great community event. And the band was Rosalie and the lead singer, so local
I love that.
parents. Yeah, pretty great.
All right, so any questions this evening? I appreciate your time.
It's great.
Always
Great.
great
Thank you.
to share good news. So.
Love it.
Thank you, Tony.
Okay, thanks. Okay, Kate, if we could do roll call, please.
Mark Cicero,
Here.
Amy Clark,
Here.
Ryan Dodson.
Here.
Brian Flynn.
Here.
Keith Regenberg,
Here.
Katie Swell,
Here.
Lindsey Spencer.
Here. Thank you. I could get a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as outlined. Second.
All right, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's approved. Moves us into superintendent's reports.
Okay, this time of year, we bring the BECC tuition and reduced, probably just tuition this year, application, it's worded weird. It's the BECC tuition. I should have checked that, I apologize. It's just BECC tuition. So that's what I have you do, that's what I need you to vote on. We basically made some changes. Beth is here to answer any questions that I don't know the answer to, and appreciate it. But I want to give Beth and Jan a huge shout out. This, first year, new eyes, a fresh set of eyes is a wonderful opportunity to kind of think through what helps our programming. As you know, the BECC is different than K-12. It is a tuition-based program. We want to make sure that we're providing this resource for our families, but we also we have to pay for it somehow. We got to pay the bills. But so we want to try to keep that balance of as things become more expensive, but also not trying to overburden family and community. But we also believe that the programming is best when it is, 5 days, full days for our students particularly. We kind of have that, it's like hierarchy, but especially for those being, our goal is to prepare kids for kindergarten. And so we want to make sure that we are full, but that we are as efficient as possible in what we're offering, so that when we have teachers, that the spaces are all being utilized throughout the day. So as we did that, there were a few minor changes. One, we are asking for an overall increase of 1.5%. That keeps us up with our comparable districts. The two that are most comparable to us are Clayton and Ladue. Early childhood is hard to get true comparables because districts get different sources of funding for different programs that they may offer, whether it be Head Start, federal funds, federal grants, whether they do their own SSD or they partner with SSD or their own special education services partner. So a lot of those things play into it, so it is hard to get true comparisons. Brentwood and Ladue are the closest. This,
Clayton.
yes, we're Brentwood. Brentwood. So this puts us still well within our comparables at a 1.5%, but where we were really out of comparables was with some of our full days and half-day programs, or 3 full days, the part-time programs. Most districts, just like, it's kind of like buy 4, get 1 free kind of situation where because the 5 full days are the easiest to staff, it's where we kind of make the most amount of money. When you're choosing less than that, it's typically, a little bit more. So it's about 56% more in both Clayton and in Ladue for those programming, and so we just mirrored that number, and so with a smaller increase than I think both of those districts are going to see, we hoped that it wouldn't be too big of a hit for our families. So we were trying to balance all of these things, being fiscally responsible while also providing an important service for our community. And so you'll see that it's a little bit more streamlined as far as offerings. We have 5 full day, 3 full day, 5 half day, and 3 half days. And Beth is wonderful working with all of her families to try to match them up with what they need. This year, our 2-year-olds are our most popular. We got a wait list for 2-year-olds.
Wait, oh my gosh.
So that is, but we are.
Wow.
Yeah. So we are sending them a very specific email to remind them to register for a 3, so we can make sure that we're able to serve them. So that is just kind of it in a nutshell to kind of stay up with the cost of things. We did also add, I believe, $2 for before and after care, which is basically the equivalent of $10 an hour for what families would be paying for. So we just ask for the tuition rates to be set for next school year, 26-27. We have curriculum night coming up at the beginning of December.
Yes, so we are really trying to advocate promote curriculum night for all new families and current families. So all of our classrooms will be open. We'll have each classroom with different activities throughout the center. And all the parent educators will also be there to support questions for new families coming in.
And that is the first time we're going to be doing that event, so we're very excited. And then we have registration starts January 12th.
And it's all online this year.
Yeah, so very excited to hopefully streamline that process for families. We ask that you approve the new tuition rates.
I will make a motion to approve the BECC tuition and reduced application
Just
as outlined.
the wording's not right
Oh, is
there.
that
That's my
the
fault.
next
My
one?
fault.
Oh, wait.
No, we don't have
streamlined
that
it. We don't have
okay.
that. You don't need
Read
to
it
approve
verbatim.
that. It's so.
I can get a
Second.
Thank you. Discussion? I don't have a question about the payment plan and the fee schedule. I do have a question about why aftercare only goes till 4:30, and I would love to understand more about that.
So my understanding, and Beth, correct me if I'm wrong, is a lot of it has to do with the fact that children this young, keeping them at school that long has historically kind of been thought of as something that we didn't want to do to encourage kids to get picked up.
We
A
also
little bit
have
earlier?
about staffing.
Yeah.
When we had it, we used to go to 5:30 years ago, and we would have to hire staff members that would come in for the 2 hours for our aftercare program. Our school was until 3:30 to 5:30. Our school goes until 3 o'clock now, 8 to 3, and so it's an hour and a half for the aftercare. And we have 4 of our assistants stay after for our aftercare. So just the consistency, having our staff members cover our aftercare.
That's been one thing too. We talked about, Beth and I have talked about it, and Kristen and I looked into the Right at School for early childhood. And I think that was one of the trade-offs of, I think that at the early childhood, people were very happy having TAs that they knew, and that's why they like to be able to stay. And if you outsource, that brings in new people, and the outsourcing with Right at School can't do 2-year-olds, and we have several 2-year-olds. So we have looked into some other options that would then offer longer till 4:30. Previous administration, I know philosophically didn't really want to offer past 4:30. I think it's something we can reinvestigate, but again, it would have to change we would have to change our
Change hours,
staffing,
and then probably have additional staff
Staff.
come in for that aftercare piece.
which is a hard thing to fit
To
if they're
fill,
not
and then a
there.
lot of times we would have, in the past, staff members would cancel last minute and just trying to keep it staffed with quality members.
And we don't have a wait list for before and after care, correct?
Just on Mondays for aftercare.
Okay, Mondays after care.
Aftercare, but,
Yeah, and I think that's partially where we have to just kind of keep an eye on it and monitor. We start seeing a big need, or parents asking, or them telling us that they're not able to choose this, before care, after care. I think that's, right now we're full, so it's not like we have a lot of open spots, that people aren't coming, so I think that's a big thing.
Family work schedules changed, so I think before COVID, it was a lot a lot of families would pick up at 5:30, 5 o'clock, 5:30, but I think after COVID, I think a lot more families have flexible work schedules where they are able to pick up earlier and support their families.
Anything else?
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much.
That is approved, thank you.
All right, next up, Ronnie's going to talk to you all about our huge celebration. As I think it was your email, Katie, I said that this was my old wheelhouse, so I think I know more than anybody will ever want to know about this topic, so I already apologize to Ronnie if I interject. I like that. I know I already called myself a dork tonight in closed session, but I'm also a nerd about this stuff, so I will tell you, again, it is only one measure, but it is something that we should be proud of, and we should celebrate, so.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So even though Tony shared the overview, I'm going to double down again because it really is just a huge celebration. 95.4% for the 24-25 school year. There's the point totals there for you. We earned 187 out of possible 196 points, top 10 in the state, top 3 in the region. And then that composite score, which is our 3-year average, makes us one of only 3 K-12 districts in the state to earn that reward. And I will also say I was at a conference the last 2 days, and every single person I know had to make a comment about, well, la-di-da, look at you guys, credit with distinction.
I got that too. I was in a meeting and I go, Brentwood, congratulations. Or something. I was like, first of all, it feels sarcastic, but second of all, thank you.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah, it
No
does.
complaints
It does.
here.
Right.
So I really do, and like Amy pointed out, it's one measure. However, this is one of those examples where I really feel like the work that we do leads us to a place where the score just takes care of itself. Like we put in the work, we put in the time, our partnerships with our students and our families are so strong that this is the result that you get when you have invested so much in your students and your community. So it really does. It makes me proud to work here, and I'm just so proud of everything that is happening in our classrooms. So as just a quick overview, a reminder of what is actually being measured in APR. So the primary chunk of that report card is academic achievement and academic growth. And that is based on our Missouri Assessment Program, which is our MAP tests that are given in grades 3 through 8, and our end of course exams that are given at the end of a handful of our high school courses. And so the bulk of the points come from our 1-year performance on those tests, and then also there is a growth measure that shows how well that cohort of students
have they met their expected growth from the previous year? It's not quite as simple as that. There's a very complicated formula. The state gets our scores, they send them to the University of Missouri where their psychometricians wave their magic wands and then give it back and say, yes, we did or didn't achieve the expected growth. But we do very well both of those measures, and so that is where a lot of our points come from. And then also just some kind of met or not met pieces on the report card as well. For example, do our students all have ICAPs, individual career and academic plans? Do all of our kindergartners take a kindergarten readiness assessment? So some of those are those kinds of compliance issues. Did we do our audit this year? Did we give our culture and climate survey? And then also some post-secondary measures, our graduation rate, our college and career readiness, when we measure it by the college and career or post-secondary exams that our students are taking. So did all of our students take either an ACT or an ACT work keys or an AccuPlacer test, something that indicates their readiness for post-secondary work. So this year, our highlights, we earned full points in every academic achievement category. So at every grade level and every test, full points there. In the continuous improvement categories, 8 out of 9 points. I'm going to tell you where the points were lost. Because, when you get 95+% of the points, it's like, which few did we miss? Even though we're here to celebrate. But I just want to make sure that you have a complete picture of our amazing performance. So 8 out of 9 of the full point categories, full points in continuous improvement. The one where we did not get the full points possible was attendance. And we are this close on the attendance measure. And so that was at the high school level where, again, they're looking for 90% of your students are there 90% of the time. And we were 89 point something. So we're very close.
Which is very good right now because attendance is a huge issue across the country, but across the state, and to be that close. High schools predominantly where those numbers, many districts are losing their points there, and it's a huge challenge. We talk about it in all of our meetings. Just post-COVID, we've never rebounded, but I will tell you Brentwood has probably rebounded as strongly as anywhere I've been or where any data would tell you. So that's a great thing, and again, a true testament to our community too, because that's a huge collaboration. That's just not the school.
Yeah, and it is. That's those partnerships. I mean, anecdotally, when we have students that are not attending school regularly, it is a face-to-face meeting with those families as quickly as possible, and so it's a really strong advantage that we have here is the strong relationships that we can make sure we're supporting families when we don't see their students regularly attending. And then also, I just think a strong highlight, I want to come back to that composite score. This is sustained performance over time. This is not we had a great year. This is since the Missouri School Improvement Plan Cycle 6 went into effect in 2022, we have achieved above 90%, well above 90%, every single year now for 4 years running. So I just think that's really something to be proud of. And then our growth areas, which I mentioned, attendance. One area where we'd like to just focus a little bit on our academic growth is in our student groups for ELA and science. And so I put that little asterisk there for you as a reminder of student group. So prior to this MSIP cycle, it used to, going back to like No Child Left Behind, they would break up subgroups of students to look at subgroups individually, like your students with your IEPs, your students of color, your students who receive free and reduced lunch. And what Missouri has done for the last several years is they lump them into one category that's called the student group. And so the definition of it is on the slide there for you. So for us here in Brentwood, there are 5 categories, and a student who meets at least one, is in at least one of those categories, meets one criterion, is counted in that student group. They're not double counted if they fit more than one of those descriptors. So our Black and Hispanic students, our students who receive free and reduced lunch, our students with IEPs, and our multilingual learners. And so I think it really is actually a strong point in Missouri that is measured as its own category, because these are students who need often additional support, and it really encourages districts to focus on the growth of those particular student groups and make sure that every child is getting the support that they need. And we do very well. So I want to emphasize, we lost very few points overall. But where we did lose points is we have a little bit of room to grow with our student groups. Another thing that I want to clarify about the student group is that they don't actually show up in the point count. Their scores are not calculated as a student group unless you have at least 30 students in the student group in that school building. So that's actually this year, only a couple of our buildings that even have enough students in those student groups in individual grade levels to count. So that is Mark Twain in the middle school, and actually at McGrath in the high school, there were a couple of categories where we didn't have enough students in that student group. And so that is why if you were to compare Brentwood points to another district's points, our points possible is different than what another district's points possible might be. And then the last piece is growth. So we did very well, math. We did very well in math. But some weeks ago, I shared in a weekend update about a discrepancy with some of our end of course testing in math and how it was going to impact our point eligibility at the high school level. So because at the high school level, we had that 1 year gap where some of our students who took algebra in 8th grade did not take the Algebra 1 EOC. We were not able to count our math points at the high school level. Fortunately, as a district, this did not impact our district score. But what is difficult for us to determine, because we don't have the very granular breakdown of the growth formula, is whether that impacted our academic growth points in math as a district. But on the whole, excellent performance, lots of growth, and so much to be proud of. And then I just wanted to finish with this just so that you could have a visual of how Brentwood is comparing to state averages over the years. And so you see statewide scores have climbed, and I think a lot of the headlines this time around were that Missouri is doing well and is really rising overall as a state in terms of our scores on the MSIP, and Brentwood consistently 15, 18, 20 points above the state average. So pretty great.
Great job.
Any questions?
That's a very good summary, though. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good to understand it.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. This is a huge testament. Again, I just want to reiterate, teachers, students, community, couldn't happen without that. I mean, all of this plays a role. And what I think is very important is we're not teaching to the test. And I like how Ronnie put that. Like what we're doing every day because it's the right work, it's value in our strategic plan, it's things that we're outlining is important. When you stay vested and you stay focused on that, the scores come along with that. So I think that's a huge testament. So very proud of our school district. Doing a good job.
We are too.
Very good.
That's
Very
awesome.
good.
Okay, so that moves us into Board of Education piece, and we have policies from our meeting a couple weeks ago. Do we have?
Yeah, so I did want to make note of this because it just got added this morning. I apologize. Melanie and I have been going back and forth multiple times, and we are not her only clients. So she had a crazy Friday and was texting me at 5 o'clock Friday night, and I told her that she did not need to get it to us at 5 o'clock on a Friday night. And so I got it mid-afternoon yesterday, and then I was busy, so I apologize that you just got it this morning. But the big one is everything was what we talked about. We made any of the minor adjustments, and I know I put the one on in the weekend update that just clarified that we were actually misreading what it was saying. But it's thank you, JECA, eligibility to enroll. This is the one that had some changes and that we had talked about what we wanted our tuition to be. We are able to accept tuition paying students with just the secondary level. So we are able to set that standard, and they put the language in here. And then she also put the comment in here with the language, which we had talked about, that like if somebody leaves, we wouldn't kick their kid out immediately. We would follow the similar process, which we already do, which is finding a natural break, whether that be semester or the end of the school year, kind of depending upon how that happens. So she added that language. But other than that, everything we had talked about is in there. And I just said we had wanted to make sure it was legal for us to set that standard, and she said it absolutely was, because we consider our elementaries to be, kind of at their capacity as where they are. She did leave in there that elementary students who are already enrolled in Brentwood, that change we made last year, that are already enrolled in Brentwood and would maybe leave and move to another house at the elementary level. Again, I don't foresee this being a large number, but that if they want to pay tuition to stay until like 5th grade because they're in 4th grade and they move and don't want to make that change, that if they've previously been enrolled in Brentwood, they could pay the tuition to do that. So she kept that language that we had made last year as a change for elementary, but otherwise it is just secondary, that we would be able to take tuition paying students. I am meeting with Clayton next week to talk about the processes that we will follow to implement this policy. the forms, Matt and I are both meeting with them next week to just talk through the process that they go through to accept this information. So we'll get those processes in place, and I can share those with you, and we can update once we get those done.
Do you want me to make a motion to approve these? Are we approving all of them?
Yep.
Or do we want to go through each one? How do you guys want to approach it?
I think last time we actually did each one individually.
Yeah.
There's less this time.
Yeah,
I
there's
think,
less this
I think the
time.
last time there was
There's a
the
laundry
whole bunch, so we did
list.
A, B, C, or
I just
whatever.
go, yeah.
Like,
We usually do them all
We
at
usually
once.
do, and then last time we didn't, but I'm
I
happy
think last
to go
time
back.
was because we had policy update A, policy update B,
Right.
C, because we
Ah.
did all of them together. So I think it was maybe B, C, and D, so we did the
Okay.
chunks together.
Is
This time
the
it's-
only one where it's been changed significantly?
Yes, everything
Okay,
else is
everything
exactly
else is
what
the
we
same?
said.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, we can do it all at once then. We'll
Okay.
simplify tonight.
Yeah.
Sorry, can I have a quick, sorry.
Yeah.
I'll
You
ask
make
my
a motion
question.
and then we
Yeah,
can
Yes,
just.
sorry.
so I'll make a motion to approve the MSBA 25D policy updates as outlined. Second.
All right, discussion?
Okay, sorry, just to ask my question. The JECA one that we're discussing, is it gonna be in this, where in the policy does it say it's only secondary, or will that be in the process? Where
It's in there.
I have to find it. Page 5.
Can I ask another question? Has it always been 30
Okay.
hours a week?
Thank you.
For employees to send their children here?
It has.
Always been 30, okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure that was the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? And the tuition itself, we vote on
Yeah, in
that.
February. And we're gonna talk to them about all that when we get meeting with Clinton too.
And so this will roll out for the 26,
27
27
school
years.
year, yes.
All right, anything else?
Is there any verbiage that we need to put in this policy about maximum capacity? It says percent district's class size policy?
Yeah, so that'll be what
Is
we do in the
that-
policy, that's what we'll do
No,
in the
that is in that
procedures.
policy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll do pursue, that'll be, and
If
it's
there's
board,
space
board,
available.
yeah, so we'll have those in the procedures
Got it.
too.
I did not see that. Thank you.
Again, I apologize for the late notice on this one.
All right, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Those are all passed. Thank you. Okay, we've got MSBA delegate report, and we could do a quick summary on the conference too. I'll look at you first. You can. I know. I
I'm
don't
the
think that
delegate,
anything
but
has
I'm gonna defer
happened.
to you. Or, Lindsay, or Katie, you do.
This is the first meeting since,
Since we
Yeah.
were in Kinston.
It is.
it was uneventful, now I see I've
It was actually, I take that a little personally.
I had a great time.
No, I'm talking about the actual delegate.
You're right.
You're right, you're
That's
right.
what this says, delegate report.
It does. You're right.
Yes, that was an uneventful
Does it say
moment.
extracurricular?
Mhm.
And now I can't remember what those issues were for the advocacy positions, but it was only the ones that were simple that passed, the other ones.
So the superintendent issue or Columbia or something
Oh, yeah.
brought,
No, it did not.
that one get?
It did not.
It did not.
They brought that to the delegates and voted
Yeah, I was
on
drawing a
whether or
blank
not
on
to
that.
vote again, and that didn't pass the first one.
And Lindsay was our delegate.
Mhm. I anticipated this to go like for 2 hours, and then all of a sudden it was done.
It was real quick. I was a little surprised.
Mhm.
And so, I mean, that's the delegate report. Lindsay and
Yeah.
Katie and Amy can tell about the other stuff that we did.
There's some good sessions.
There were some good sessions. I was saying to Amy during the conference at one point that I try not to only go to St. Louis County presentations, because it's nice to see what the rest of the state is doing, but St. Louis County school districts are doing really awesome programs, and so there were a couple that I went to. One was Afton, and they talked about their tutoring program, which now we're looking into.
It was actually
tutoring.
Bayless.
Oh, Bayless,
So we
yes.
are actually, I put that in the weekend update, but because of that, it had already been on my list. It was at the bottom of it. So I hadn't gotten to it yet, and it reminded me, we are going to be partnering with Ladue and Clayton, and we will be bringing the Oasis tutoring program to Brentwood, and we're very excited. I'm meeting next week to talk about with the regional lady But it's a wonderful opportunity for people to volunteer and provide reading support for students in buildings. So any community members can volunteer. They train them. There's lots of data to support the work they're doing, and they're actually starting a math program for kindergarten, first and second grade, I believe, maybe up to third grade. And it's a great way to partner with the community. It's a great way. They talk a lot about benefits for the volunteers as well as benefits for students. So we're really excited about bringing it in. And Stacy Taylor gets a huge shout out because I kind of got excited in the middle of the meeting and texted her, and we had a meeting with the people in like 2 days. So she's taking it and running with it. But it's a wonderful program, and with Ladue and Clayton already kind of having it up and running, it helps us have access to even more support and PD together, and ways for our volunteers to now network with other volunteers. So it's just a really wonderful opportunity.
So is it just limited then to elementary level, or is it?
This particular program it's just designed for kindergarten, first and second grade.
Okay.
We can create our own kind of thing for upper levels, but this program is really targeted at reading support for younger kids. It's that early intervention model.
Okay.
And then oftentimes it is, kind of senior citizens or people that, as the kids get older, that feel comfortable advocating and helping tutor kindergarten and first and second graders.
Mm-hmm.
You start getting into middle school and high school support for tutoring, and that's just not where people are comfortable providing it. So that's where the emphasis of this particular program is.
Okay.
Yeah, the other really good talk that I went to was through Clayton School District, and they have a wellness program around mental health, and they actually have a dedicated center now at their high school where if kids are in need of just a break, they're able to go to this wellness center, and it's staffed, and the goal is to have the students in and out within like 12 minutes or something. And what they found, a lot of kids are utilizing it, but they have reduced the number of absences and increased the time in classrooms of students by having this service available to them. So it was fascinating and great, and so we're, of course, able to tour that at some point. Just some really great ideas are out there, and this will be my last plug, but you should always go to MSBA. And the fun thing about it is after several years, you run into people that you know in other districts, and it's just nice to catch up. I sat with the Webster Groves school board in a couple of the conferences and caught up with them, and it just makes you feel like you're part of a bigger piece of this public school puzzle when you're there. And you also get to go out to dinner. So that's
many of our
always
vendors take us
fun.
to
Our vendors take us out to
very
dinner,
good.
you get to spend time with your board members. It was
fun night.
really
Fun
great.
time.
So I don't know if there were
Yeah, and all these other board members are all pretty nice people, actually.
good people.
I
Good
mean,
people.
So people who do this kind of stuff, they're not there to make money doing it.
Right.
Some people may have, well, and if they're at that conference, they're curious about, and so they're genuinely decent people to get to know. And if you've been around a while, you start to know, very know.
And Keith has been really involved with MSBA, and so he got to wear a special blue shirt one of the days. He sat up front, he got to stand up, we clapped for him. There were a couple times where we got to honor Keith in a bigger setting than just Brentwood School District. So you've been
Can you do the timer again?
instrumental.
Yeah.
He was very
Yeah,
excited.
Belle.
He was very excited.
They have, the rule has always been you get 3 minutes or 2 minutes or something, or some number, and so somebody has to be a timekeeper and ring a bell if somebody goes over. But nobody does.
They're also good rule followers.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything else that you want
No,
to
I just next year, I hope Katie can vouch as a first timer that it is a fun and very interesting. There is, like I said, it's a great thing to remember, and then you can make connections and go and tour different schools and good refreshers and reminders. And so I enjoyed the sessions too. And it's a fun time to just kind of hang out and get to know one another too. So I hope it's always the third week, isn't it? Usually the third week of October.
I think it moves around some, but it's probably going to be the same. And then there's the vendor
Yeah.
place, which is kind of interesting, and they have it set up with all these schools bring kids to show off
Yep.
things they're doing. Some of the stuff is kind of amazing,
It is.
and so that's always fun. And they have all the sessions on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, Friday's a pretty full day, but you can typically get there later on Thursday, so.
Mm-hmm. And the keynote speakers were great.
That's
There was
what
an
I was
outstanding
trying to
young
say.
man.
I was trying to say
I'm trying to
the-
remember his name.
The
It was
kid,
Orion,
oh, he's so quick.
Orion, I was just trying to Google him to remember his last name. I can't remember his last name, but he was a young man that was really into serving his community, and gosh, he just was so poised and so well-spoken, and he was missing his high school test to come give this
APUS
speech
history.
to us all. And I just, like, I want to be a better human for you.
Yeah.
Very
Very keynotes have been
inspirational.
really great, the 2 years I've been, they've been really great.
Think it was
Remembers your why.
That's right. Good, okay. Special school district report. So next meeting, is December 1st. Okay, great. And then board committee updates. I can start, or Mark can, actually, I'll let you do it.
Yeah, sure,
We
we
met
had
today.
our community engagement meeting this
Can I
afternoon.
publicly apologize
And
for
he-
missing it? Tony came in and I was like, he's like,
Where
where am I? I got caught up on working on something, there was no alert, I don't know what happened, so I publicly apologize. I value the work Tony does, I'm mortified.
You were just with
I
him right before the
apologize.
meeting.
I know, we had just been talking about college signings, and so I apologize.
We almost canceled it because of that.
Yeah. All my fault.
No, I thought it was a productive meeting. We went through the website, got some feedback from the the committee members on that. So talked about the app at length and what the committee wants to see tweaked, or just general feedback on it. And then we talked a lot about branding with the banners and a consistent sign for when students are accepted into not accepted, but go to the high school, putting a sign like the private schools do. So a lot of good ideas, and I thought it was a pretty productive meeting. I don't know if I'm missing anything.
Yeah, no, and it was well attended. We had a couple new members, which is always wonderful. Yeah, so I think it was great, and we're excited to that new website. Everyone who's watching,
That looks great.
you get to see it in January, but it does look great, and so we get to play around with that for the next couple months and give feedback back to Tony. So it was really good. We have our meeting with Ronnie next Monday.
We have student experience on Thursday this week. Is it this week? Is it this week? Maybe it's next week?
This is, okay, I'm glad we're talking about
No,
it
it's not
right
next
now.
week.
Can't be that.
No, it's Thursday. It's the 20th. Yep,
It is.
it is. It is the 20th. So I will be sending an email with the agenda. But we're going to actually, because we have students on this, we're going to be looking at the website too. So Tony will be coming and talking to the website so we can ask the kids their take on it and what are they missing from a student perspective. So we'll be doing that Thursday.
That's great. Okay, any updates, Brian, down at 353 redevelopment committee?
Nothing so far.
Great. You really should not have that many meetings. In fact, you had one right away when you volunteered, to be honest.
Immediately,
It was surprising.
Two of them.
Yeah. Okay, so
All right,
then,
I'm sending you that again because I'm seeing I missed
Yeah,
it again.
I looked
If
at
you
my
can't,
numbers,
I'm
not
so
on
sorry.
there, so that's okay.
I was overplanned. I blame it entirely on having overplanned and having my committee scheduled last spring, and that's my fault. I will learn to do better.
so for upcoming events, looks like we've already canceled the December 2nd meeting.
Can we do a tentative cancellation of that? I do want to talk with Matt and Andrew tomorrow with the NTB and make sure.
I know,
For
I'm
some
looking
reason we
right
would need
at
it. And Sarah.
Sarah. We don't have to do that. We'll figure out what we're doing on December 2nd.
Yes, so it is a tentative, but if we would like to approve that, we can talk. So
Okay.
I will be in
That's
communication
fine.
to confirm if that is okay.
All right, and at our last board meeting, we talked about being a school board member, how to file. That opens on Tuesday, December 9th. And then for our next board meeting, we've got a wonderful winter celebration earlier in the day, so you can get that on your calendar.
And the board meeting will be at McGrath too that night, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, great. Okay, on December 16th, the third Tuesday. Yeah.
So the nest of the BECC, is that where we're meeting?
Yeah. And that's when we do our student recognition. We're trying to like go to different buildings for the student recognition nights to get our kid, we get our best turnout on those nights, and it's a wonderful opportunity for people to see the other buildings in the district.
Great. And then we've got other things coming up after the first year, but the last thing is December 30th. It's the last day to file. Thank goodness, Kate, you do not have to be there on New Year's Eve this year. That is good. Okay, if there's nothing else.
Someone was asking me about filing for being on the school board, and she asked if she needs, I just was trying to direct her to you, Kate. You can just be the person to then direct her also.
I think Kate does all of it.
She does all of it, so
She's
it's like
the one.
So she doesn't have to go to the city separately.
No. Okay, great. If I could have a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn. Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Assuming no one's opposed. All right, thank you for
Thank
coming.
you, everyone.
Thank you.
And roll call, sorry,
Oh,
roll call,
oh.
yes, sorry.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Kate.
His name was Orion Jean. It took me a minute. The keynote speaker, he was Time Magazine's 2021 Kid of the Year.
Really?
And he
Really?
created
Where-
a
from
foundation, a nonprofit called Race to Kindness. And he started off with like gathering food during the pandemic at 9 years old.